Fans, hold on to your seats because the drama in Atlanta has reached a whole new level of chaos. Just when everyone thought the storm had finally settled between Kirk Frost and Rashida, Jasmine Washington has decided to step back into the spotlight, and this time, she isn't holding back. In a shocking twist that has fans talking all over social media, Jasmine is dropping what she calls a bombshell revelation. And trust me, it's the kind of news that could shatter everything Kirk has worked so hard to rebuild. Whispers are flying, screenshots are being passed around, and insiders claim Jasmine has undeniable receipts that place Kirk right back in the hot seat. Could it be that Kirk has been caught red-handed yet again? After promising Rashida and the world that his cheating days were behind him, emotions are running high, tensions are boiling over, and the Frost household may never be the same. Fans are shocked, friends are divided, and Rashida's silence is only making the speculation grow louder. So, what exactly did Jasmine reveal? And is this the final nail in the coffin for Kirk and Rashida's marriage? Let's break it all down. The whispers began late at night, a storm slowly brewing on social media timelines. Jasmine Washington, the woman who once shook the entire Frost household to its core, suddenly resurfaced with cryptic posts that had fans clutching their phones in disbelief. It wasn't just a random status update or a vague meme about betrayal, this was something heavier. Something sharper, something that hinted at secrets Kirk Frost thought were long buried. Truth always comes back around, Jasmine wrote, followed by a fire emoji and a clock. Within minutes, the comments section erupted with thousands of fans tagging Rashida, demanding answers, and speculating that Kirk was once again up to his old ways. But it didn't stop there. Hours later, Jasmine went live, her tone steady yet laced with a knowing edge. A smirk that suggested she had more than just words, she had evidence. Y'all remember when everybody tried to make me the villain? When I was dragged, humiliated, and made out to look like I was just chasing clout? Well, the truth is, history repeats itself. And this time, I'm not going to be the one sitting quiet. The chat went wild, comments flying faster than Jasmine could even read them. Drop the receipts, sis, expose him. Protect Rashida at all costs. The energy was electric, the anticipation unbearable. Meanwhile, across town, Kirk and Rashida were at home, trying to enjoy what was supposed to be a quiet evening. The kids were asleep, the house peaceful, but Rashida's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. She glanced at the screen, frowning at the flood of notifications. Why is everybody tagging me? What did you do now, Kirk? Her voice carried that familiar mixture of suspicion and exhaustion, the tone of a woman who had lived this nightmare one too many times. Kirk looked up from the couch, his face tightening with frustration. Man, I don't even know what you're talking about. I haven't done nothing. But even as he spoke, his hand twitched, betraying a nervousness Rashida had seen before. The next morning, Jasmine dropped the first piece of her so-called bombshell. A blurry photo, taken at what looked like a dimly lit lounge, showed a man whose silhouette bore an uncanny resemblance to Kirk. The caption read, "Promises mean nothing when actions tell the truth." Fans zoomed in, dissected the image, and within minutes, hashtags like hashtag Kirk caught again and hashtag Justice for Rasheeda were trending. The internet was relentless, and though the picture wasn't crystal clear, the narrative was already written. Kirk Frost was back in the hot seat. Rashida tried to keep her composure, tried to focus on her business meetings that day, but whispers followed her everywhere. Employees at her boutique exchanged looks, customers muttered under their breath, and even friends called her nonstop with the same question. Girl, did you see what Jasmine posted? The weight of humiliation pressed on her shoulders like a boulder. This wasn't just about a picture. This was about the world once again, doubting her marriage, her choices, and her dignity. That evening, a confrontation was inevitable. Rashida stormed into the living room where Kirk was sitting, scrolling through his phone, jaw clenched. So you're just gonna sit there while the world clowns me? While Jasmine drags my name all over the internet? Her voice cracked anger and pain intermingling. Kirk stood, defensive but careful. Rashida, I told you I ain't been messing around. Jasmine's just doing this for attention. She knows how to stir people up. You really gonna believe her over me again? Rashida's eyes burned as tears threatened. It's not just about believing her, Kirk. It's about the fact that every single time I try to trust you, something happens. Every time we take one step forward, you find a way to drag us back into the mud. Their argument grew heated, voices echoing through the house until their oldest son quietly came downstairs, his small frame silhouetted at the staircase. He didn't say a word, but the look on his face was enough to cut Rashida to her core. She lowered her voice, realizing the damage these fights inflicted on their children. But even in a whisper, her words carried venom. If this is true, if you've been lying to me again, Kirk, it's done. I mean it this time. Kirk rubbed his forehead, exasperated. Man, you don't get it. Jasmine's just bitter because I cut her off completely. She's just mad that I chose my family over her. This is all about her wanting revenge. But behind closed doors, even Kirk couldn't shake the unease. He hadn't spoken to Jasmine in months, or at least, that's what he told Rashida. But there were those late-night calls, those unanswered texts, those moments when he slipped away under the guise of handling business. He knew Jasmine was unpredictable, capable of keeping secrets until the perfect moment to detonate them. And if she really had something concrete, he was in trouble. By the end of the week, Jasmine escalated the drama. This time, she posted a short video clip. It was grainy, shot from an awkward angle, but the audio was clear as day. A male voice, eerily similar to Kirk's, laughed as he ordered drinks at a bar. Nah, my wife don't need to know about this. Just keep it low-key. The camera panned briefly, catching the side profile of a man with Kirk's distinct haircut and beard. Fans lost their minds. Screenshots flooded Twitter and Instagram, side-by-side comparisons proving what they believed was undeniable. Kirk had slipped up, and Jasmine had caught him. Rashida sat alone in her car, staring at the clip over and over, each replay chipping away at the fragile hope she clung to. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she whispered to herself, "Why does he keep doing this to me?" The betrayal wasn't just in the act, it was in the humiliation, the public spectacle, the way their private battles became entertainment for millions. She clenched the steering wheel, breathing heavily, torn between walking away for good and holding on for the sake of her family. Meanwhile, Jasmine reveled in the chaos. She went live again, her tone sharper now, her words deliberate. "See, I tried to play nice, I stayed quiet. But when you paint me as the liar, when you make me look crazy, I'm gonna defend myself. Don't play with me, Kirk. I told you once I don't need clout. I got the truth." Fans cheered her on. Others criticized her for destroying a family, but the attention was intoxicating. Jasmine knew exactly how to keep the fire burning, dropping hints of more to come without ever revealing everything at once. And so, the stage was set for a showdown. Kirk scrambling to deny, Rashida caught between rage and heartbreak, Jasmine holding the cards and the entire fanbase demanding the next revelation. The Frost family's stability was once again dangling by a thread, and the world was watching closely, waiting for the next explosion. The next day the city woke up buzzing like a beehive. Every blog, every gossip page, every fan account picked up Jasmine's clip and spun it into 1,000 versions of the same nightmare. By noon, a new rumor took center stage. Jasmine wasn't just revealing the past, she was about to reveal something happening right now. A location, a time, a plan. She posted a countdown on her story with a simple line beneath it. "If you want truth, pull up." The numbers ticked down, every second a pounding drumbeat inside Rashida's chest. She couldn't sit still. She couldn't breathe without feeling the burn of embarrassment all over again. She looked at her reflection in the mirror, steadied her voice, and made a decision. No more waiting. No more letting the internet dictate the narrative. If there was truth to be found, she was going to face it head-on. She drove without telling anyone where she was going, hands gripping the wheel as she followed the digital breadcrumbs. The address that fans whispered about pointed to a lounge, sleek lighting, smoked glass, a DJ booth pulsing with low bass. By the time she pulled into the parking lot, the countdown on Jasmine's story hit 15 minutes. Rashida stepped out, chin high, heart hammering, and walked inside like a queen entering a battlefield. Jasmine was there, of course. She was dressed in black, hair laid, nails sharp, aura armored. She spotted Rashida before Rashida even spotted her, and the hint of a smile tugged at her lips. The kind of smile that said, "I knew you'd come." Fans were already inside, live streamers with phones raised, watchers perched like vultures, waiting for the first tear, the first scream, the first sign of blood. Rashida's eyes flashed fury. She hated this circus. She hated that even her pain had become public property, but she would not be the one to fall apart in front of them. "You called me here," Rashida said, stopping a few feet away from Jasmine, her voice steady but steel-edged. "So talk. If you got something to say it to my face, not through your phone." Jasmine tilted her head. I didn't have to call you. You came because you already know something ain't right. You came because you don't trust him. Rashida bristled. I came because I'm tired. I'm tired of your little games, your drops, your hints. You want to be the hero of your own story. Fine, but leave my family out of it. Jasmine exhaled, slowly, scanning the room, making sure the lenses were aimed. See, that's the thing. I tried to leave your family out of it, but your husband, he doesn't leave me out of it. She pulled her phone out and scrolled to a video. You want the truth? Here. The screen flickered to a hotel hallway. It was clear now, not grainy. The footage wasn't from a phone, it looked like security camera footage, timestamp glowing. In the corner, a man walked down the corridor with a cap pulled low. Another shot, the same man, same build, same beard, texting as he knocked on a door. The door opened, and a woman's arm reached out. The clip ended. Rashida stared, her throat tight. It could have been anyone, she told herself. It could have been a setup. But the way the man held his shoulders, the slight lean when he laughed at the door, she knew. She'd watched that body language for years. Where did you get this? Rashida demanded. Does it matter? Jasmine said. Or does it only matter if it's him? It matters because this is my marriage. It matters because you know how to twist things to look worse than they are. Twist. Jasmine's eyes flared. Twist. Like when I said I wasn't lying the first time and the whole world called me a homemaker. Twist. Like he promised to keep it respectful and then tried to play me like I was nothing. I kept my head down for a long time. I didn't post, I didn't start anything, but he kept poking, kept sneaking, kept pretending. Rashida's composure cracked. If you have proof, show it. Stop dangling it. Jasmine's gaze softened, but only for a breath. I didn't bring you here to humiliate you. I brought you here because you deserve to decide for yourself without everybody else spinning it. I'm not your enemy, Rashida. Kirk is the one who makes promises he doesn't keep. Before Rashida could answer, the lounge door opened and a wave of energy swept through the room. Fans turned, phones lifted like a field of periscopes. Kirk walked in, jacket thrown over his shoulder, jaw set in granite. He looked at Jasmine, then at Rashida, then at the phones, and you could see the calculation flicker across his face. He was cornered, not in a room, but in a story that had already chosen its villain. So this what we doing? He said, his voice low but carrying. We ambushing people now. Y'all want a show? I want the truth, Rashida said quietly. Did you go to that hotel? Kirk's eyes moved to the screen in Jasmine's hand, then back to his wife. That video doesn't show anything. That could be anybody. Answer the question, she snapped. Did you go? He hesitated for half a second too long. The room felt it. Rashida felt it. I went to talk to a promoter, he finally said. A private meeting, nothing more. And I didn't tell you because I knew how it would look. Jasmine scoffed. A promoter. Is that what we calling it now? Stay out of this. He shot back. Rashida turned to Jasmine. Who opened that door? Jasmine swallowed. For the first time tonight, she looked uncertain. A girl, she said. Not me. But it wasn't business. And how would you know? Kirk retorted, stepping closer. You orchestrated this whole thing. You got people filming, you got people leaking. You got half the city thinking they know my life. You mad because I cut the money off? That's what this is. Stop it, Rashida said, voice trembling. Stop making this about anything except your choices. She looked around the room at the faces staring back, the phones still up. The hunger for a meltdown. She took a breath and steadied herself. You could have told me. Even if it was innocent, you could have told me. Why didn't you? Kirk looked at her, the anger draining to something more fragile. Because I didn't want to lose you over nothing. Then why does it feel like everything? She whispered. A fan near the bar shouted, We love you, Rashida. Another said, Leave him. The room turned into a chorus of unsolicited advice, a jury of strangers eager to deliver a verdict. Jasmine lifted her chin. I have more, she said, quieter now, as if offering a hand instead of swinging a blade. But I'm not dropping it here, not for them, for you. Rashida's expression shifted, less fury, more fatigue. Then show me. Not them. Not Liv, just me. They moved to a small VIP room behind a curtain, the noise on the other side humming like a storm pressing against glass. Jasmine laid the phone on the table and opened a folder labeled Records. There were call logs, dates, durations. There were screenshots of texts, partial and full. Some were clearly Kirk's number. Others were labeled with names Rashida didn't recognize. And then there was the piece that made her hand shake, a screen recording of a video call. The angle only showed a neck and half a face, but the voice filled the tiny speaker. He laughed. You know I can't stay on too long. A woman's voice purred. You always say that. I mean it. She's home. Rashida closed her eyes. It was like being underwater, sound muffled, heartbeat thunderous. She opened them again and stared at Jasmine. Why are you doing this to me? I'm not doing it to you, Jasmine said softly. I'm doing it for me. And for the truth. I have a child to look out for. I have a name people tried to ruin. I have a right not to be lied about. You do too. The curtain parted and Kirk stepped in, security trailing, face hard. We're done, he told Jasmine. You played your game. You got your clicks. We're leaving. Rashida didn't move. She looked at him, then at the phone, then back at him. Is there anything you want to say before I decide what happens next? Kirk's mouth opened and closed. He looked at his wife, really looked at her, the strength in her posture, the grief in her eyes, the years of loyalty threading through a heart that had been bruised and bruised again. He deflated. I messed up, he said. Not like you think. But I messed up. I should have told you about the meeting. I should have told you about the calls. I should have made it so there was nothing to question. Why didn't you? Rashida asked, voice barely above a whisper. Because I'm stupid, he said, a bitter smile twisting his mouth. Because I thought I could manage everything. The business, the past, the ego. I thought I could keep it from touching you. You didn't keep it from touching me, she said. You put it in my lap and turned the whole world into witnesses. Silence spread like ink. Jasmine spoke first. I'm giving you 24 hours, she said to Kirk. To tell your truth before I tell the rest of mine. And not a PR statement. Not some half apology. The truth. For her, for your kids. For my kid. Kirk stared at her. You don't get to dictate my life. I'm not dictating, Jasmine replied. I'm warning. I'm not going to be the only one carrying the weight of your choices. Rashida rose slowly. I'm leaving, she said, picking up her bag. I won't make a scene in front of those cameras. But hear me, both of you. If one more lie slips through, if one more meeting turns into a secret, I'm done. She brushed past them, pushed through the curtain, and walked straight through the lounge without looking up. The phones followed her like satellites, but she kept her gaze forward, a study in resolve. Outside, the air was cool, the sky deepening into a bruised purple. She climbed into her car and sat for a long minute, hands trembling but mind sharpening into focus. She dialed a number and waited. When the voice answered, she didn't bother with pleasantries. I want the full report, she said. Whatever you find, you bring it to me first. The private investigator on the other end simply said, You got it. Back inside, Jasmine watched Rashida leave and felt a flutter of something she hadn't expected, guilt. She had searched for vindication for so long that she'd forgotten what collateral damage looked like in person. She slid her phone into her purse and turned to go, but Kirk blocked the path. What else you got? He asked. Jasmine met his stare without flinching. Enough. He nodded slowly, jaw working. You think you winning, but you don't know what I know. Try me, she said. He stepped closer, lowered his voice. People around you ain't loyal. The same ones feeding you clips been feeding me, too, and when it all comes out, you not gonna like how it looks. For the first time, a crack appeared in Jasmine's armor. Is that a threat? It's a fact, he said, then walked past her, pushing out into the noise. She stood still, processing, a cold line of worry running down her spine. Who had given her the hotel footage? Who had handed over the call logs? She thought she knew, but what if he was right? What if someone was playing both sides, turning the fire into an inferno for reasons neither of them had figured out yet? Later that night, Atlanta felt smaller than it ever had, streets tight, windows watching. In living rooms and group chats, friends argued like jurors. Some said Jasmine was doing the right thing, forcing accountability. Others called it petty revenge, dressed up as truth. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high. The family was left divided, and somewhere, hidden in the noise, was another set of hands stoking the blaze. Around midnight, Rashida sat at the edge of her bed, the house quiet except for the faint hum of the AC. Her phone buzzed with a new message from an unknown number. You don't know me, but I can help. He wasn't alone that night. It wasn't business. There was a photo attached. She clicked. The image was crisp, no grain, no mystery. A woman stood in the hotel elevator, looking straight into the security mirror, unaware that her reflection had captured it all. She wasn't just any woman. She was someone whose name had been floated in the rumor mill before. Someone connected to the same promoter circuits Kirk moved through. Rashida stared at the picture until it blurred. She typed back 2 words, "Who are you?" The response came instantly. "Someone who's tired of being lied to." Another ping, a video. Rashida hit play and watched the elevator doors close on a scene that made everything inside her go still. She paused it, rewound, played again. The doors opened, Kirk stepping in. The woman reached out, fingers grazing his sleeve with a familiarity Rashida recognized like a scar. Upstairs, a child stirred, and Rashida wiped her face quickly, breathing deep, swallowing the storm. She looked at the ceiling, then at the phone, and finally at the pile of promises that had once felt like a home. The question wasn't whether this was real anymore. The question was what she would do with it in the morning, when the sun rose, and the world came calling for answers. The sun crept up over Atlanta, casting light on a city that buzzed with scandal. The Frost household was silent. But that silence wasn't peace, it was the kind of silence that came after a storm but before the wreckage was cleared. Rashida sat in the kitchen with her coffee untouched, eyes on her phone, replaying the elevator video she had received the night before. Each time, it hit her like a punch to the chest. Kirk stepping into the elevator with that woman, her hand brushing his arm like they had done it before. It wasn't just about infidelity anymore. It was about disrespect, about trust being shattered in front of the whole world. Kirk walked in. Still groggy, rubbing his eyes, he stopped short when he saw Rashida's face. He knew before she said a word. "What now?" he asked cautiously. She didn't flinch. She slid the phone across the table. The video paused on the image of him standing far too close to another woman, his face drained of color. "Explain it," she said flatly. No tears, no shouting, just the kind of cold that burned deeper than fire. Kirk swallowed, scrambling for words. "That ain't what it looks like." Rashida slammed her palm on the table. "Then what does it look like? Because to me, it looks like my husband walking into a hotel with another woman. It looks like my husband lying to me. Again, while the whole world laughs at me." He rubbed his head, pacing. "Look, she's connected to a promoter. All right, I was trying to set up an event. I ain't touch her. You expect me to believe that?" Rashida's voice broke, the first crack in her armor. "You expect me to believe that after everything we've been through, you just happened to be in a hotel with some woman, and it's all business?" Kirk reached for her hand, but she pulled back. "Rashida, I know how it looks, but you know me." "No, Kirk," she cut him off. "I don't know you anymore. I don't know the man who keeps humiliating me over and over. I don't know the man who turns our marriage into a circus. And the worst part, you don't even seem sorry, you seem scared of getting caught." Before Kirk could reply, the front door banged, and Rashida's mother, Charlene, marched in. She had fire in her eyes, her voice carrying like a siren. "What did you do now, Kirk?" she snapped. "I can't even go to the grocery store without people asking me about your mess. Do you know how humiliating that is for this family?" Kirk groaned. "Man, I don't need this right now." "You don't need this," Charlene barked. "Rashida doesn't need this. Your kids don't need this. You're out here making fools of everybody, and for what? Some little side piece in a hotel room." "Mom, stop," Rashida pleaded, though deep down, she wanted every word of it to stick. Charlene wasn't done. She turned to Rashida. "Baby, how many times you gonna let him drag you like this? How many times you gonna let him tell you, it's not what it looks like? It always looks the same, and it always ends the same with you hurt and him shrugging it off." Kirk snapped back. "Y'all act like I'm the devil or something. I made mistakes. Yeah, but I've been trying. Jasmine's blowing this out of proportion, and people eating it up because they love to see us fall. Then stop giving them reasons to." Charlene shot back. The air was thick, voices rising, hearts pounding. Suddenly, Rashida's phone buzzed again. A message from the unknown number. "There's more. Tonight, same lounge." Attached was another clip, this time of Kirk, outside in the hotel parking lot, talking on his phone. He wasn't alone. The woman was next to him, leaning against his car, laughing like they were sharing a secret. Rashida's hands trembled as she turned the phone toward Kirk. His shoulders slumped, the fight draining out of him. "Tell me this is business," she whispered. "Look me in my eyes and tell me this is business." Kirk's lips parted, but no words came. The silence was louder than any confession. Charlene grabbed her daughter's shoulders. Baby, you don't need this man. You got your own money, your own career, your own name. Don't let him drag you down anymore. But Rashida wasn't ready to walk away, not yet. Something inside her demanded the full truth, every piece of it laid bare. She stood tall, tears glistening but her voice steady. You and me, Kirk, we're going back to that lounge tonight. Jasmine wants to play games. Fine, but I'm getting my answers once and for all. In front of everybody. That evening, the lounge was already packed before they arrived. Fans, bloggers, cameras all waiting for round 2. Jasmine was there, cool and collected, sipping a drink like she was the star of her own show. When Rashida and Kirk walked in together, the room erupted, phones raised, whispers loud. Jasmine smiled like a cat who had cornered its prey. Glad you could make it, she said. Rashida didn't waste time. Drop it. Whatever else you got, show it now. I'm done with the games. The crowd hushed. Jasmine pulled out her phone and mirrored it to the lounge's big screen. The video played a different angle of the hotel hallway. This time showing Kirk entering the room with the woman, the door shutting behind them. Gasps rippled through the room. Rashida's chest heaved, but she refused to break in front of them. She turned to Kirk. So, still business? Kirk looked around, panicked, his reputation crumbling in real time. He began, but his voice faltered. Jasmine leaned in, her words slicing the air. It's over, Kirk. The lies, the secrets. You can't spin this anymore. The world sees you for who you are. Rashida stood frozen, the weight of years pressing on her. Fans were shocked. Emotions ran high. The Frost family was split wide. Open and deep in her gut, Rashida knew the next words she spoke would change everything. The night was electric, every phone recording, every eye watching, every whisper amplified. Rashida stood at the center of the room, the weight of betrayal, pressing down like a storm cloud ready to break. She glanced at Kirk, whose face was pale and taut with panic, a man caught between excuses and reality. Jasmine stood a few feet away, calm and collected, like a conductor orchestrating a symphony of chaos. The lounge seemed to shrink around them, walls closing in, as if the city itself was holding its breath. Rashida's voice cut through the tension. Kirk, I need the truth. All of it. No more lies. No more hiding. No more excuses. Tell me what happened. Kirk swallowed hard, hands trembling slightly. I didn't mean for any of this to happen, he stammered. I went to talk to her, yes, but it wasn't what you think. Rashida's eyes narrowed, ice cold. It wasn't what I think. Kirk, the videos, the calls, the texts, they paint a very clear picture. How do you expect me to believe that walking into a hotel with another woman, laughing with her, and shutting the door behind you is just business? He took a step forward, desperation creeping into his voice. I was trying to fix things. With a promoter. I was trying to set up an event, a business deal. That's all it was. I swear, Rashida, nothing happened. The room erupted in murmurs. Fans shouted, some cheering Rashida on, others demanding Kirk confess fully. Jasmine held her phone up again, the screen showing timestamps, locations, and texts that suggested more than a casual meeting. Business or not, he lied, she said sharply. He hid this from you. That's what matters. Rashida's hands shook, but she lifted her chin. I've lived with enough lies to last a lifetime. Kirk, I've given you every chance, every benefit of the doubt. And every single time, it's the same story. Denial, manipulation, excuses. I can't do this anymore. I won't do this anymore. Kirk's shoulders slumped, the fight draining out of him. Rashida, please. Don't do this in front of everyone. I don't, she interrupted. I am doing this in front of everyone because this has been in front of everyone for too long. Your mistakes, your secrets, your lies, they're public. And so is my decision. She turned to Jasmine. Thank you for being honest, for showing me the truth, even if it hurts. Jasmine nodded, a faint smile of vindication on her face. She stepped back, letting Rashida and Kirk face the moment alone. Rashida looked at Kirk, eyes glistening, but firm. I am leaving. I'm leaving this relationship as it is right now. Not because I don't love the life we built, not because I don't love our family, but because I have to love myself more. I have to stop being the woman who is constantly hurt by someone who refuses to be accountable. The lounge went silent. Some fans clapped softly, some gasped, some wept. Kirk's mouth opened, then closed. He shook his head slowly, a mixture of shame and helplessness in his eyes. "Rashida, please," he whispered. "I said what I needed to say," she replied, voice steady, determined. She grabbed her bag and moved toward the door, pausing only to look at her children, who had been waiting quietly outside, shielded from the crowd. Their mother's strength radiated in that moment, a beacon amidst the chaos. Outside, the cool night air wrapped around her like a shield. She inhaled deeply, finally allowing herself a moment to feel free. Her phone buzzed again, a message from the unknown source who had sent her the elevator video. "You made the right choice. You don't owe him anything." She stared at the message, a small smile breaking through her tears. She typed back simply, "Thank you." Inside, Kirk remained, the weight of the night pressing down. Jasmine watched him for a long moment, then turned, walking toward the exit. "This isn't over," she said softly, more to herself than anyone else. "But at least she knows the truth." Fans streamed out, phones still rolling, posting live updates, tweeting reactions, and debating every move. Social media exploded. Overnight clips from the lounge, Rashida's words, Kirk's floundering, denials trending hashtags, multiplying with each passing second. Hashtag Rashida strong, hashtag Kirk caught again, hashtag Jasmine bombshell dominated timelines. Comments ranged from shock to outrage to support for Rashida's courage. The drama had reached a fever pitch, and nobody could look away. Back at home, Rashida locked the door behind her, finally alone. She sank into the couch, pulling her phone close. Scrolling through the messages from fans who supported her decision, words of encouragement flooding in. Her emotions ran high relief, sadness, empowerment, all tangled together like threads of a tapestry that had been ripped and stitched countless times. She knew the road ahead would be rough. Kirk would respond. Social media would erupt. Family dynamics would be tested, and fans would continue to speculate. But for the first time in years, she felt a spark of control, a sense of clarity. She had confronted the lies, faced the evidence, and made a choice for herself. And that choice, that moment, was hers alone. Hours later, Kirk sat in his office, staring at his phone. Messages from friends, family, and associates filled the screen, some offering advice, some expressing disbelief, some expressing anger. His reputation was fractured, his marriage in jeopardy, and the world watching every move. He tapped a finger against the desk, the realization dawning that actions had consequences he could no longer dodge. Meanwhile, Jasmine posted one final update that night, a cryptic message that sent fans into another frenzy. "Some truths are meant to be seen. Others are still waiting. Watch closely." Comments exploded. Speculation ran rampant. Who else was involved? Was there more to come? The suspense kept everyone hooked, emotions running high, and the Frost family's saga far from over. Rashida finally put down her phone, exhaustion and resolve blending together. She knew tomorrow would bring more questions, more whispers, and perhaps even more betrayals to uncover. But tonight, she had claimed her power, her voice, and her decision. Fans were shocked, emotions had run high, and the family once united was now divided in ways that couldn't be undone overnight. The battle had been fought, the bombshell delivered, and the aftermath was just beginning. The city slept uneasily that night, every eye on the Frost saga, knowing that when the sun rose, the next chapter of betrayal, confrontation, and revelation would ignite once again. Rashida, however, finally felt the first stirrings of peace. For the first time, she knew she had chosen herself, and that was a power nobody could take away. And there you have it. Fans, the shocking, heart-wrenching saga that has left Atlanta buzzing and the Frost family in turmoil. Rashida's courage to confront the truth, face the evidence, and take a stand for herself has sent shockwaves across social media, leaving emotions running high and fans divided. Kirk's repeated missteps, the mysterious video footage, and Jasmine's relentless drive to expose the truth have combined to create a drama that none of us could have predicted. The family is divided, reputations are hanging by a thread, and the world is watching every move. What happens next? Will Rashida choose to rebuild her life on her own terms, or will Kirk fight to regain trust that has been shattered time and time again? Will Jasmine drop even more bombshells, or has she finally shown everything she planned to reveal? One thing is certain, the Frost household will never be the same, and the fans will be glued to their screens waiting for every next twist. Now, we want to hear from you. What do you think Rashida should do? Is Kirk truly innocent in this latest scandal, Or is this the final nail in the coffin of their marriage? And how do you feel about Jasmine's role in all of this, hero or villain? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because your opinion matters, and we want to see the debate explode. Don't forget to hit that like button if this drama had your jaw on the floor. Subscribe for more exclusive updates, and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of the chaos as it unfolds. Trust us, you won't want to miss what comes next in this scandalous saga because, in the world of the Frosts, the truth always comes with a twist.